Hey, everybody. Welcome on in to Northwoods TCG. That's right. Today, we're going to be talking about shouldn't say prismatic. I want to say prismatic evolutions because there is still more of that coming as well. That'll be a little bit later. But Phantasmal Flames, of course, is going to be in the talk today. A lot of things happening, a lot of things not happening. It's more like what we should be saying at this point in time because, once again, I feel like we are constantly being juked out by the mainstream X communities on whether or not this product is actually going to release or not. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if you guys follow Entity X restocks or drop sites, they have been continuously every single day letting us know that Phantasmal Flames may be dropping today. But as of right now, September 10th, 2025, it has not been released at this point in time. Are we actually going to see this at release? We are getting way into the time frame for which it normally would be released. Pokemon, I don't know. They went to go release on Monday. I don't know if anybody was listening to what was going on Monday. Within the first 20 minutes, there was close to 2.5 million people on Pokemon Center on the waiting list. And then by about 30 minutes in, there was over 5 million people waiting in the queue at Pokemon Center in order to try and get their opportunity at Phantasmal Flames. Now, after it was all said and done, didn't happen. It ended up, I think it was plushies on Monday. So Pokemon is like slowly releasing small products and putting that queue up and creating this. Now, my theory is that they are either one, testing to try and find out if they can determine which are bots or not. So they're trying to fix their problem, their mistake that they made, or whatever issue they had. I think that they're using this as a good trial period to be able to try and figure out whether or not they've got the holes fixed and whether or not they can tell bots or not. I think they're trying to eliminate some of the issues that they've been having to try and catch these people before they become more of an issue. So that could be my number one theory on what's happening. Number two theory is that it's sold out. They're not canceling those orders. The orders aren't canceled. That they are actually going to hold up those orders, and there is no product. Everybody's waiting for something to come that isn't actually going to happen. Now, 42,000 products doesn't seem like a lot, but that's just the people that we know that claim that they've bought products. So I guarantee if 42,000 say that they've been bought, I guarantee it's probably a lot higher than that. Now, the third thing is that potentially Pokemon's just taking their time because of the situation that occurred, and they're being sure that they have more product available before they do this pre-order. Maybe their thought process is that they're trying to find out how much they can produce, and so they are just slowly working through to see if they can increase their production numbers due to the demand of this particular ETB and how it all panned out already and what they know is happening. I mean, you see, me as a business and as a company, if I did a pre-order watching any of the sites that talk about the Pokemon TCG buying that are looking to get this product, and you see a queue go over 5 million people, 5 million people waiting in a queue. Now, I shouldn't say people, 5 million bots, people, 5 million accounts sitting in a queue waiting for a product to drop. That really tells me that I need to be producing a lot more of this product to capture that business. So that might be another factor as well. How much can we produce and how much can we change? Let me change one thing here on the lighting because I don't know why my lights all of a sudden dimmer went crazy. Much better. It's going blind. My dimmer was like getting brighter and brighter and brighter as I'm sitting here. So I do apologize. But yeah, I think that we could be seeing the Pokemon maybe shifting gears a little bit on this particular set, and we might be seeing it come and actually potentially produce more. So we might see more in release. Over 5 million people, guys. 5 million accounts trying to get in the waiting queue for the last drop. Now, we don't even know. That wasn't even really prismatic, or keep wanting to say prismatic. It's really, really close. But Phantasmal Flames. So Phantasmal Flames, people assuming that there could potentially be ETB drop of that. There were over 5 million people waiting in the queue. Now, I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to do that or if it's something that you guys were trying to get into. I sat in it for a little bit and I was getting kind of tired. I had it up on my tablet. It was up for about an hour and I didn't even get through the queue in an hour. I just shut it down because when I heard that there was then I went back to X and they said there was over 5 million people into it. And I was just like, I'm not waiting through 5 million people. If I haven't gotten it in an hour, chances are that it's sold out, especially with that kind of demand and hype on that set. So hopefully we do see an opportunity to get more of this product. Hopefully Pokemon is actually trying to get this production up to make it valuable or get that opportunity for more people to get it. But I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I really hope that we do see it. I really do hope that we get an opportunity at that particular product, but my fears is that there's a lot of accounts, bots, and things that are really causing some issues on this. What is going on with this dimmer? I'm about to shut the dimmer off because it's driving me crazy. Apparently I got to get a new dimmer switch. Now I got to play electrician fun. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. We should be seeing a pre-release or see the pre-orders available for both the booster boxes and the ETBs. Those have not fully come out yet. So if anybody thinks that they've missed it because of all the action going on at Pokemon Center, if you got into queues, couldn't get through, were at work, didn't get an opportunity to completely push through and get into the product line or get into the products, or you got into it after waiting and everything was sold out. Good news is that you have not missed your opportunity at this point in time. There's still a chance. So if you're watching this today, I can't guarantee tomorrow that it won't pop up. But currently, you still have an opportunity. This product has not hit the line. But we've seen a lot of other products kind of showing up too. It's like Pokemon's using this. This is why I kind of go to that testing theory, is because it seems like Pokemon's putting out a lot of weird products out there that, you know, really shouldn't cause a queue. But anything they release at this point in time is going to cause a queue. So it gives them a chance to kind of test to see what's going to happen and how is this going to actually work out. And I think that they may be actually taking advantage of this in some way, shape, or form. Because you think about it, if you put the queue up, you see if there's someone able to bypass the queue and get around it. You can track the data of individuals that are sitting there, just like have people tracking the data of how many people are in that queue, how many products are available. All these things are being seen. Pokemon's doing the exact same thing. They're tracking to see if anybody's working around, seeing if everybody's stuck in the queue in the levels that they're supposed to be, that they're not jumping or getting ahead in the queue. Even if they're moving ahead a few spots, they would be able to see that data with the way that they currently are doing this. And they're releasing products like the Professor Juniper boxes, their milk boxes that just came back out. There's been a lot of like V-Star boxes and that coming out. I think there's Arceus figurine boxes that were released here yesterday. There was the plushies that all got released on Monday. So there is a lot of things going on right now at this point in time. And we don't know exactly. I just saw Eric, thanks for joining into the chat here. Exactly. We don't know if they actually can those orders. I have not seen Poke Guardian. I have not seen Poke Beach. I have not seen Pokemon yet put out any statements that say that those orders were actually canceled. The only people at this point in time, and you guys have to ask yourself, do I trust these people? Are the people who that broke in, hacked into the Pokemon site and said that that their orders were canceled? So do you truly believe them? Or do you think that Pokemon still has those orders live? Do you think that Pokemon is going to allow them to keep those orders? Is Pokemon still trying to figure out how to adjust the things and make it so that they can get rid of these orders, or, you know, make the security measures tough enough to where they can finally maybe cancel those orders and then be able to reopen that queue and go for a product that actually means something, not some of these little products that are a little bit off-site or a little bit off the side. And Jacob, absolutely do agree with you on that. It's crazy Pokemon hasn't even made a statement. The fact of the matter is that Pokemon is being very hush-hush about it is actually a little disheartening to me. I would think that Pokemon would at least put out a statement, some kind of press release. You know, they can tell us when they're supposedly printing more product and when they're making an adjustment to product production, but they can't tell us when they have a major hack or a breach on their side to tell us what's going on. You know, hey, we apologize. We are going to, you know, make every adjustment that we can. We are going to cancel all of those orders. We are going to suspend those accounts. We are going to do this, 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 and this. Please stay tuned and be patient with us as we go through this process. I would be understanding of this. Right now, it's like every single day you're in limbo. Absolute limbo on what they're going to do. Every day so far this week, we have had another drop of these particular products. We have had another drop, another queue that's put up where everybody gets excited and everybody starts piling in the Pokemon Center. To be honest with you, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's actually going to happen. Maybe they're going to do something different. I don't know. Maybe they're going to go to the raffle system. Maybe that's the way that they're going to do things. Go back to the Japanese raffle system. Everybody gets an opportunity. You put your name for the raffle. They roll the wheel and all these numbers come out, and whoever gets the numbers gets the ETBs. Maybe they're changing their system to that with what's occurring. I'm not sure. I don't know what's happening right now with this situation. It's really, really interesting. To me, there's a lot of interest. My interest is more not on purchasing it at this point in time, but my interest is more in the way that it's being handled currently by the Pokemon TCG. To me, this could really give us a feel for how Pokemon's handling every issue that's coming up this way. It also could be a real good symptom for, you know, how everything is actually being processed on the Pokemon side, or how are they going to protect their consumers that are actually doing it the right way? Is there advantage to doing it the right way, or do I need to go buy a bot to be able to get this stuff and get in on this, you know, and get it? If I want something, does that mean I got to go pay a bot service to get the product that hacks into the Pokemon site? That's the real question that I think there's a lot of people are back on their hands right now, wondering what's going to be the process moving forward. Can we hack this website, get in early, and get our stuff? Do we pay a bot service, you know, whatever, to get us as much as we can? I don't know. I don't know what the real answers are going to be, but if this is the case and Pokemon lets these orders stand and it happens, let's just say it happens again on the next release too. Let's say if they do another thing and the same thing happens again. What is that going to do to the Pokemon TCG and how things are going to move forward? How are people going to handle that for the Pokemon Center purchases and the queues? Waxy Packs, I did see you. No, I don't do rip and ship tonight. Tonight's just market discussion. So we do rip and ships on Friday and Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time. So if you'd like to join us then, greatly appreciate a Waxy Pack. But no, we don't do... Tuesday's just our talk. We get caught up with the actual investors and the market people in the community. Have a little sit down, go over things like this that are going on in the community, kind of awareness stuff as well. And then putting out those sometimes hot takes on what's happening in the market so that we can get a feel for it, you know, and kind of throw around ideas. It's a good way for us to see comments and see other people's perspectives too on what's happening. You know, my always biggest thing, and I've said that for several people, is that everybody needs to sit there and get different perspectives for things, and seeing the chat participate in these discussions are definitely a good way to do that. Antonio walked into my Target and managed to get a surprise box. Awesome. I see Walmart has them up. That was going to be my prismatic talk for tonight as well. The surprise boxes seem to be continuing to roll out in the stores right now. Walmart's got now pre-orders tonight, or got orders tonight for those surprise boxes. I heard Target had them on the shelf. I'm hearing that there's quite a few of those rolling out right now. So what does that mean? It could mean a little bit of a reduction in like these particular. So this is one of the reasons that you buy that particular box, is because of these, like this Flareon here, which is the EX. So this is going to be your, got your Flareon EX, your Leafeon. It's got all 8 of the evolutions in the EX form. Just a standard card, but it has the stamp promo on it. So you get that Prismatic Evolutions promo stamp on it. That's what everybody really wants. That's what's a big part about that box. It's a really, really good product for that. I think it's a really cool product to have, especially for like me with a collection. It's nice to have stamp cards. I always do enjoy stamp cards personally. That's one of my favorite cards in Pokemon TCG is getting those stamp premium cards are definitely fun. But this could also mean that if they're dropping a large dropping of these particular cards, it really could be an issue as well. Team Rocket Joey, welcome on in. Do you think every SB era booster box is out of print? No, not at all. Out of print does not exist at this point in time. Thank you so much for the critical hit Waxy Pack. Greatly appreciated. No. Right now, some are going out of print. The first run, so basically Scarlet and Violet base set, I think base set, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flame, and 151, all the way up to Paradox Rift, I believe, are all going out of print at this point in time. Paldean Fates might be, I don't remember, I'd have to look at the card number. Basically, if you want to know what's going out of print, the biggest thing you got to look at is the actual set number, or the set lettering on the bottom of it will really tell you where we're at for the sets. Basically, when it's going out of print at this point in time, it usually means that it's over 2 years old, because at 2 years, they start focusing on the newer mechanics, because you're going to be getting, those ones are going to be going out of rotation here next March. So as we got through the Worlds, this will pretty much be the last Worlds that you can use any of the base set cards. That first generation of cards is going to be eliminated. What error is that? I can look right here. So G. So in the next rotation, we're going to lose G. So basically, now that Worlds is finished, G is going to rotate out here in March, April as rotation occurs. So at this point in time, we might see some of the product kind of show up, but it's realistically at this point in time out of print. Anything now G, so H, I, and J, I believe, well, now we got J coming into the fold. Those will all become the mainstream running cards at this point in time, which will be usable at the next Worlds. Those will be your main print items. Now, have we historically seen them go back and reprint anything at this point in time of those? Probably not. Once they get over 2 years of age, I've personally in the hobby never seen a reprint of a set after the 2-year mark. Even Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze occurred right at the 2-year mark or just slightly before it when they were going out of rotation as well. Even those ETBs and stuff like that got released beforehand. So traditionally, those sets will be out of print. Anything that's after Paradox Rifts, so Shining Fates, I believe, might be or Paldean Fates might be either or. I can't remember where that break is out there, but either that one or Temporal Forces will be still in the danger of being a reprint at this point in time. I've seen only one set, Roaring Skies. Okay, Roaring Skies is one of them that Antonio was saying. I thought Roaring Skies was still in rotation. I thought it was still in the 2nd year because it got reprinted to death when XY Evolutions got reprinted to death. They both got huge reprints at the same time, and they were so Roaring Skies would have been 2 years old, and XY Evolutions would have been 1 year old at that point in time. So I thought that one was still in the 2-year mark, or right in the 2-year window, Antonio. I could be wrong, but I wasn't there for that set in particular, that giant reprint. So it may have been at this point. It may have been at that point. Eric, like we said in the Discord, if they cared about the actual community, they should have made a comment on this. Exactly. The fact that they haven't, so going back to that, the fact that we haven't seen any comments or any kind of press release from Pokemon on that whole situation is kind of unnerving in a way. Just gonna say that. Jacob did say, I'm just looking through here just to catch up. Welcome on in, James from Alamo City. Thank you so much for dropping in. Trying to go through here. What do we got here? We got A-Stick Silver. They don't always say comment about it. They do. They absolutely do. If any company has a major breach about it, a breach of their website and a breach of their protocols, they usually put out a press release. It doesn't matter what the company is. Pokemon is no exception from any company that has a major data and website breach. If they have a breach of their security protocols, they have a breach for something to happen, they should be at least addressing and giving an explanation for what occurred at that point in time. That's just common. Is it law? Is it something that we need to do? No, but, it's kind of good for your community to do that. They weren't breached. They were very much breached. They breached the security system for the queue, and they breached the firewall that prevented them to get in, and they pre-ordered everything ahead of the release point. Yes, it was loaded into the site. Yes, it was available, but it was definitely a breach. They breached security in order to get into it. Many parts of the website have back ends that feed the info to the rest of the internet. This wasn't some illegal thing. Bots are been on eBay. I agree. It's not illegal. That's the issue you're going to run into, is that legally there is nothing around it. And they also went around the limits that were set. They did a bunch of things, and if Pokemon's going to allow that, they should be explaining why they're going to allow that. Plain and simple. If they're going to allow these people to buy 50 ETBs, then they should be able to explain to us how they are able to buy 50 ETBs and break over the limit. Once again, it's one of those things it's just common courtesy. You can sit there all day and say that they don't have to. No, they don't. There's no legal precedence that says that they have to. There's no legal thing that they're going to get in trouble if they don't, but it really looks bad on them to the community. If I'm a company and somehow someone got around my back doors or went through the back entrances, it's feeding information. I understand people are viewing the back doors. There's back doors to everything that you can view in, but they're not really doors. They're back windows. They're viewports, but you're not supposed to be able to access through those. They're not supposed to be openable. They're supposed to be something that are giving, like spiders out to the internet, that gives information so that the right people can get in and get information to properly assert themselves or source information that they need for both their systems and for internet systems, but it's not an access point. The bots hacked the windows. They got in through the viewports and they started purchasing stuff without the authorization of the Pokemon TCG to do so. Without authorization, that's a breach. End of the day, they breached it. They breached the window, they breached the door, they breached the viewport, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, they breached the system. They breached the limit quantities. They breached in and did what they wanted. So, once again, they don't need to. But it is what it is. They can do what they want. Considering you just said Pokemon hasn't made a statement, this is your hypothesis. What? No, this isn't the hypothesis. This is what they said they did. What hypothesis are we working on? The people that purchased the products explained what they did. It was on their Discord. They explained exactly what they did. So we're not running on hypothesis. We're running on what they did. Yeah, I mean, that's just, like I said, they don't have to. They don't have to, absolutely do not. Pokemon did do a small statement. Yeah, I don't know if they even called it. They just kind of said, yeah, this happened. I mean, they really didn't go into any explanation at all. Let's see here. Let's go through here. See what I missed out, Jacob. If they don't drop this month, I may to stop with hobby until, yeah, I get a lot of people saying that there's going to be more and more people leaving this hobby right now. I can tell you that right now. Some people are getting frustrated with it. The fact, the lack of product is being very disheartening at this point in time. People really want to see product come out regardless of what it is. Even if it's not the newest sets, if we were to start getting reprints of some of the older sets, it would really take a relief off of the overall market itself. Kids are starting to lose interest. I've been noticing that even at our tournaments and stuff like that, less and less kids are being involved at this part in time. The junior league is really starting to kind of fall apart a little bit. On our side, the older people are still there. We're still playing. People like my son who have a parent that's really into it are still involved, but some of the people that don't have parents that are involved with it are definitely starting to fall out a little bit when it comes down to the enthusiasm for the hobby, and that's going to be detrimental overall for Pokemon if they don't do something about it. They need to get product out there. We need to see accessibility for people to be able to get this at the Walmart or at Target or at GameStop, actually have product on the shelf that they have accessibility to, because when you start removing accessibility, people, especially kids, younger generations, really lose interest in things very quickly. If they don't get product, if they don't get packs to open, if they don't get the cards they want and have an opportunity to chase something, they're going to move into another set. They're going to move into something new, like on a tablet, a game, Fortnite, Minecraft, whatever. They're going to shift. They're not going to sit there and continue to wait. Us as adults have a great opportunity just to kind of sit back, wait. We're not in a rush a lot of times. We understand that we can just wait things out a lot of times and get what we want. But in general, it's going to be detrimental to the kids in general, to the hobby in general, if you start getting kids uninterested. And this hobby is only as strong as the next generation coming up. And if we start losing that generation and we start losing those kids that want to be involved into it and they don't get involved, or they aren't able to pick up a sleeve blister at Walmart to get interest into it. That's how I got back into it in 2019, is my son saw packs of Pokemon cards at the checkout, and we purchased into it. It brought back my nostalgia, and it brought his interest into it. So it was a twofold. That's one of those things that needs to happen. If we don't have that, the interest is going to start falling out on these on the hobby itself. Let's see here. Gonna go through here. I already kind of talked about this one, so I'm past there. Talked about James. How's it going, James? I'm going up above. Make sure I did anything. Hot take: Pokemon will troll everyone the rest of the month and not have any new release. I kind of feel like you might be right, Antonio. That, and I think they're testing. They're trying to see what people are finding out on the backside, and I think they're trying to make sure they patch all the holes before they do a major release on any products at this point in time. James at Almost City, I'm going to drop down to here. Oh, hold on. I missed one more here. Jacob put on here, they should make you link your active Nintendo account for early access for pre-release. That'd be a good idea. Or like our TCGO accounts. If you have a TCGO, like me, I have TCGO. Definitely would be a good way that you have to show that you have a linked account for something. But I don't know on that either. I guess it'd be a good idea if you had TCGO or a Nintendo account, but on the other hand, there are people that don't do that that still love the hobby. So another thing, it'd be really difficult to really segregate people in that fashion. I think, thinking about it right now, just on the fly, I think that it would be a good way to maybe mitigate some of the stuff. But on the other hand, I don't want them to see them actually negate someone's ability to get product when they may not play the online games. They may not play. I got people that play the card game only, and they don't play any of the online games right now at our LGS. So it's just realistically a fact that people sometimes like the physical cards, and they don't have any interest in the electronic version of things. So not everybody plays everything, and not everybody has those accounts. James from the Alamo City, I'm going to jump in with yours. Since those bots ate up the pre-orders in the back end, of PKC, they have been running tests lately with the new product dropped, except for restocks. Hope PKC does something finally to stop the bots. That's what I'm thinking they're doing too. I think they're looking for bots, and I think they're looking for jump aheads. And what I mean by that is they're looking for bots to someone to be moving in the queue mysteriously or weird. It's a great way to do it, right? You make a queue, and if you see someone jump ahead or pop through, and all of a sudden they move up 1,000,000 spots, or they move up 100,000, all of a sudden the queue is set, and you see someone moving closer and closer. Now, if I was a bot, I know that's what Pokemon's thinking too. They're looking at all this data. This is what I would be doing. I'd be creating a queue, forcefully making this queue so that I can sit there and observe how the people in the queue line exist, how they are working, and what they are doing. Are they going around and they're getting in the background? Are they going through a back door to where they're going instantly to the front of the line? You'd be able to track that IP address, right? And be able to see that occur. So you'd be able to track this data to see what people are doing. And they're collecting data at this point in time. Number two, my thought is that if I was going to make a bot, I'm going to make a bot that's only going to move up a few spots at a time. I don't want to be too obvious of this, but I want to move up that line, that queue quicker. So I'm going to make it so my bot moves in the queue somehow. They're going to be watching for that as well. They're going to be watching for people to do that kind of stuff and actually stop that from occurring. I think that that's what they're maybe testing at this point in time. I was going to talk to my wife's cousin because he's in IT, and he's also into app design and website management for like these kind of situations. So I'm going to kind of ask him what he thinks about this, because I haven't gotten a chance to, but I was actually thinking about that today, that I should give him a call and see what he thinks they would do. How would he and their protocol stuff be doing this? So what would they be looking for? Would there be a reason to be making these queues consistently every single day? Are they checking for something? Is there any kind of potential reason to do this? And what would be the best things that they would be getting out of this if they keep doing this for a couple more days? It'd be interesting, just information to see if there is a reason that they're doing it. Maybe it's just plain and simple, they're just clearing out the warehouse and everybody wants the Phantasmal Flames, so they're just instantly blowing up that queue the second it happens. It could be just that simple as well. I believe I said it, but thank you so much, Waxy Pack, for the super chat. Greatly appreciated with the critical hit. That's right. We got a critical hit on our Pokemon right now. Let's see if he can recover. Going back down into A-Sticks, A-Sticks Silver. They weren't breed. Yeah, I already went through that. We're good there. I went through that. Thought there was another one I was going to look at, but it jumped down to the bottom. So I got to get caught back up. You got it right. Considering it just said Pokemon. Yeah, we are talking. The last thing they want is to advertise these for profit bot systems. They put out a plushie Psyduck the day after. Like, yeah, no, that's what I mean. They put out some plushies out there on the website. That was their big thing. They caused a huge queue. I believe that was the one that caused like a 5 million person queue that actually formed for that Psyduck plushie that came out. A6 says, I do know that the queues over the last 2 days would be testing engineering fixes to put more layers between the bots and the end cart. That's what the security website update is, making code tweaks, make bots hit a wall. Exactly. And that's what they're doing. And that's where I'm really curious to know. So like I said, my wife's cousin is in like IT protocol and app design and online or store app design. I'm gonna probably try and reach out to him real quick and find out what he says. He would probably know exactly what they're doing and be able to tell me exactly why they're doing what they're doing, or maybe he'll have no clue. I mean, there's a chance that he may be just like, I don't know what they're doing. It don't make any sense. But that'd be just kind of interesting to see what his input would be, just because he lives in that world. Yeah, that's a specific world that I really have very little knowledge to do. I just know if I'm a bot maker right now, I'm making a bot that can jump queue and not be obvious about it. I'm not going to be jumping, like every 2-3 seconds, I'm going to jump 10 people or 15 people. I'm going to make little increments at this point to sneak up there because you got time. Or because you don't want to go through a back door now. You know what, they're watching that and they pretty much got laser grid across that. You're going to get caught if you try and jump all the way to the front or jump in the back door or the back window at this point in time. But I definitely think that they're going to be doing some adjustments when it comes down to that point. And yes, I absolutely do agree. A6, they are definitely creating a wall that the bots hit that definitely catch them or stop them, a net to catch them so that they don't continue to cause these issues that they did the last time. The real question is are they going to cancel those orders? Are they going to adjust and redo this whole thing, just completely clean slate it and say, we're sorry, we're erasing, even if you did somehow get one of these, which I don't think anybody got one legitimately. If you did, we're sorry, we're just going to reset it. You get to go try again. I mean, these are all things that are real questions for how this is going to work out. If that's the case, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. If we get to the point where they don't re-release this, I'm not buying this. I'm not buying one of these boxes off of a bot or off of eBay. I'm not buying any of this product. They can kiss my butt. If they're going to allow them guys to keep those products, and they're not going to do a re-release for the people that are legitimately waiting and doing things the right way, individuals in the hobby that are trying to sit in line, play the game, not buying bots, not doing it the wrong way, and they're going to reward the people with bots, and they're going to sell these things on eBay, they're going to sell these on other sites. I'm not buying a single one of them. I don't care if I have a hole in my ETB or PC ETB collection. I will not buy one of those from one of those guys. I don't care. That thing can drop down to 0 before I'd buy one of them things. Jacob says, unfortunately, the botters are coming up with workarounds too. Yep, they are. And that's why I think that they're testing the queue. They're doing a queue to see if they have a workaround. I think we'll really know that the problem is probably fixed or going to be pretty close to fix when they can't view the back window anymore. I honestly think as long as whoever's viewing, I don't know exactly who it is, but whoever's viewing the back doors of these websites, seeing how much product is available, seeing the queue lengths, seeing all this data in the background, as long as that individual can see that, there's still a hole. And once they can't see that information, I think that's when you'll know that they finally closed up all the holes in the Pokemon Center. Hey, Aaron, how you doing tonight? Welcome on in. Antonio says, I know there was an LGS that had a member-only sale, needed a password to buy, but bots managed to buy everything. Yeah, and they will. I mean, you got to remember, though, a bot can go through a million passwords a second, and they will. They'll find a way to just randomly scramble through all of these, just run through a million passwords. So it's really, really difficult to get in through that. Hey, Machine Candy, thank you so much for joining in. We're just talking about, of course, Phantasmal Flames, what's going on with that. All these fake releases, number 1, number 2, Prismatic, of course, surprise boxes rolling out as well. More Prismatic products still hitting the shelf. So we're really talking about those kind of things right now. And then we're also talking about bots right now. What are the solutions? We're kind of going back and forth, having a little bit of a discussion on what's going on, how bots are working, how are they probably stopping them, what are they doing at this point in time. All right, so let's see here. You can't really stop the bots from seeing exactly when the product goes live. No, you can't do that. That is 100% true. There's nothing that you can do to get them to stop the bots from viewing when it actually opens up. You're not going to stop that. What you can stop is the back door, the back windows where they can see what's happening on the back side of the website. Basically, you're going to have to create a website that has a blocker on there where people just can't view that backside any longer until it actually releases. The bots they can do is identity and sessions that are bots and stick them in. I'm sure there's a million workarounds, and AI is even getting smarter, which is going to get even more and more difficult for these companies. Let's be honest, AI is just as heavy, just as hard to try and get in on these things. And AI is creating bots and creating protocols and creating softwares and things that are just absolutely nuking these sites and making it impossible for people to be able to use them at this point in time. The normal person, I hate to say it, I think in another 3 months, the way it's going currently with AI and with bots, if you don't have a bot service and you're not paying a bot service in the next couple months, you're not getting any Pokemon product online. It will sell out pretty much immediately upon being listed. And the only way you're getting into it is literally have a bot yourself in order to be able to get in line. So basically it's going to become a bot war at these sites, not a person trying to purchase this stuff, which is just going to hinder the overall market and really get people, up in arms and not really want to be involved. Let's see here. Eric says can't hit anything manual, especially Best Buy or Target. Nope. I've given up on trying to even get in on Best Buy and Target. They're gone so fast it's impossible. Listen to all the first time hitting that chat. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Machine Candy, for jumping in. Glad to see you in the chat. Green Emoji Dude, welcome on in. When I was wasting time in and out of the funky queue, I got into the website. Seeing nothing new, I started looking at my purchase. I had been missing a cart of Astral since last March. A case of Astral since last March. Ouch, that's been gone a little bit then. Try to put in a best possible capture. I mean, that's realistically it. Something that you have to be manual in order to get into it. Hey, Jason, how's it going? Hitus, welcome on in. Glad to see you. Move the decimal place to the right 2 spots and see if the bots still want it. There you go. If you have an account, if you had a legitimate account, you get a code to move that decimal place 2 zeros. You know, that would be funny, is if they were to go ahead and just make that thing a $2,000 ETB on the first release, the bots would completely max out everybody's credit card and then give it a regular release a day later after all the credit cards are and charge them right away. Just charge the credit cards immediately. Just completely burn them, guys. That'd be funny. That'd be a good way to do it. Just absolutely charge your credit cards, lock up their funds immediately, and just be done. Jacob, if Pokemon really wants to nuke the market, they just need to reprint first edition. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine what would happen? Could you imagine what all the YouTube channels would say if they were to do that? Holy cow. That would be an absolute just disaster. Disaster to the Pokemon community. On the purchase order receipt, I realized that it was actually 2 cases of Astral and a case of Paldea. My stomach sank because I had been missing the Astral for so long. So did you end up figuring out what was going on? I mean, Green Emoji Dude, are they actually sending it, or what are they doing? Or are you going to get a refund, or do they just not charge you? 'Cause sometimes they don't charge you for it. They'll charge you for what they have, and then they won't charge you for the other case, and then they never ship it. It's basically what they'll do. I agree. Bot wars are already going on. They are. They're absolutely going on. Bot wars are just going to get worse. If you don't get a bot in the next 3 months, you're not getting anything from Pokemon Center. You're probably not going to get things from any of the current websites. You're not going to be able to get anything from Target, Best Buy, Walmart. You're not going to be able to get anything from Pokemon Center. You're going to have to get a bot. You're going to have to get into a bot service. These bot services are going to start making bank because the only way you're getting this is to actually do that. So yeah, it's a bot war, and the bot war is just going to get worse at this point in time. Very, very difficult for individuals to get in for product because, I mean, bots are literally in the front of the queue the first round immediately, and you probably got 1 million bots. I bet you at least 1 million of the people at the first minute. So in the first 2 minutes of that queue, there were 954,000 people in that queue on Monday. I guarantee that out of that, probably 750,000, 800,000 of those people in the first 2 minutes were literally bots waiting, and they just all popped in the second it propagated. Jason, welcome on in. Release to big box stores and licensed shops, then have sales at online or at stores only. No online sales. Eliminate bots then. Exactly. I think that'd be a really good way. Pokemon Center stopped selling on Pokemon Center, and they stopped allowing, the Best Buy, all these sites to stop selling online. They split the product and they sent it to all the LGSs and they sent it to all the big box stores in person only. Did sales, you would absolutely kill them bots. It would absolutely destroy the bots because then it would have to go in person and try and get this stuff. And then more people would get it, which would mean it would flush their market out as well and not allow them to be as successful for sales on the secondary market. People aren't going to be willing to go all crazy and buy all this product and pay scalper pricing if they could have picked it up at the store for less money. Green Emoji, I assume I must have missed the delivery and thought it must have been... Oh, that could be. So I must have already sent it, you just haven't seen it yet. Or, like I said, make sure that they charged you for it, because that's what happened. Queue so long, I started breaking down a pile of boxes. Under the box, I found a case of Paldea into it. Under that, there were 6 boxes. Well, you're doing well then. If you found 6K or a box with 6 151 UPCs, hey, start cleaning up your... Yeah, I shouldn't talk. start cleaning up my room, I'll find a bunch of stuff that's hidden underneath stuff. Boxes of stuff that I forgot all about. Imagine if they use EQL. Yeah. Antonio, they could not reprint base set even if they wanted to because Wizards of the Coast holds the copyright or something like that. They do not. So that was part of the litigation that happened in, I think it was 2006 or 2004. That was the legal battle, was the copyright information that's proprietary to it. The thing is that Wizards of the Coast was hired as a printing company and an artist company and they were paid for that artwork. So the real question came down to, when that litigation went through, is who has the copyright information for that first set of Pokemon, and it was decided that Pokemon owns the proprietary rights to their product. Game Freak sold or paid Wizards of the Coast money to illustrate their Pokemon, and that's exactly where that situation came down to. Because that was part of the litigation that came through, is basically that who had the actual copyright to the original Pokemon cards, who had the rights to those cards. It came down that Pokemon, by the courts, Pokemon International, Pokemon USA at the time, Game Freak technically owned the rights to those particular cards. So, no, Wizards of the Coast does not own them. It's just been kind of a locked vault at this point in time, and they just haven't gone back. But they've already done some reprints. I mean, Celebrations, they did reprints of the original cards from base set. So, if they didn't have the rights to them, they wouldn't be able to do XY Evolutions. They wouldn't be able to do Celebrations and do those reprints if they didn't have the copyrights, because those are the cards. I mean, they just have kind of had an unspoken rule that we're just never going to go back and reprint the actual base sets. Pokemon has always just kind of had this unwritten rule at this point in time that they won't go back and reprint old sets. It's like once they get past that 2-year mark, they rarely, if ever, go back and do any reprints. Like Antonio said, possibly Roaring Skies. I'd have to look into that a little bit more to see if that actually... I thought it was right at the end of the 2-year mark from what I remember, but that's one of them I could be wrong on. I'm not perfect in any means. But the general rule is 2 years. Anything past like 2.5 years, you don't see any of that product roll out at this point in time. It's just kind of locked up, and it never comes back as a reprint or any kind of product that shows up with that stuff in it. So, yeah, it's just kind of an unwritten rule. It's not really even in stone. It's just like Magic the Gathering, we'll never reprint this, but then they go and reprint them again. So they remaster them and do that kind of stuff. Pokemon still kind of does it with XY Evolutions and Celebrations. We see them remaster some of the older cards, some of the popular cards, and they keep rolling through. Let's see here. Machine Candy said bots are way more smart than most think. They now can move in on the back end and will be getting worse and worse. AI is driving bots extremely in the last couple of years as well. It's another thing that people forget about, is that 4 years ago, back in 2020, 2021, bots were there, but they were just handwritten bots that did very small mechanical things. Bots today are powered by AI. AI-powered bots are adapting, they're changing, they're smart, they're thinking. CAPTCHAs are not very effective against a lot of them anymore because they're able to critically think around those and do the things that they need to get through them. AI is giving bots the ability to almost be sentient in a way that they can think and process through problems that they're having. So, yeah, AI is definitely going to be a big game changer here in the next few years. It already is, but it's only going to get worse. AI is definitely going to be a really big issue overall for how this goes. Even GameStop has people waiting every day of the week in my areas. Yeah, GameStop isn't that bad because we know the release schedule at our GameStops. They actually post them on most of them. And on our Discord, I actually did post the release dates for Pokemon products coming up here at GameStop as well. They publicly post it, so I don't know why they would sit there every day. Usually the release is either Saturday or Friday. It just depends. So they actually have a release date schedule for products. And they've been consistently hitting that release date, at least at all the GameStops I know. So if you want to, Discord, I've got that listed currently. I just listed the newest one is up there right now, but there should be another one coming out here mid-month. They usually put the next one out. Well, they're about 2 months out on their scheduling. So you can kind of see 2 months of history at this point in time. Are you able to order any Pokemon Center Mega Evolutions? I was able to get the ME1. Yes, I got my Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes from Pokemon Center. I didn't buy any booster boxes or stuff. I'm just hoping to get those through distro, but I did get my I got my Elite Trainer boxes from there, from the Gardevoir and the Lucario one. Ace, I'll go back to your other question. I wonder if they could do a random hour drop-in store, meaning that it's not for sale at door open, but come on sale sometime different each day, like a blue light special. Problem is with that, then you'd have just people hanging out in your store all day, not buying anything, just cluttering up your aisles. So I don't think that would be the best solution either. There is really no good solution to, except for get product on the shelf. I mean, realistically, that's your solution, is get the product on the shelf where people can get it. At the end of the day, that's the only way you're going to fix this problem. Lots of product, flood the market with a product, even like this Phantasmal Flames. My God, just blow it up. Absolutely, just take whatever you printed for the last 2 sets, 10x it, and just dump it. Literally, go to your Walmart, and there'll be 100 ETBs sitting on the shelf. And every Walmart in the United States absolutely would destroy that. Would absolutely destroy this market. Pokemon International right now is just absolutely refusing to go nuclear at this point in time. Let's see here. Kind of jump down to the bottom. Let me get back to the top. Antonio never heard. Oh yeah, so yeah, that was part of the lawsuit. If you look up the lawsuit case with Wizards of the Coast and Pokemon USA and Game Freak, that was the situation they went through. And yes, Pokemon owns the rights to all their artwork and to their names, to the cards. Astix says Walmart has had the 2025 holiday boxes available all day for MSRP. Yeah, there's a ton of them out there. They are also available right now at my Costco. They have a whole palette, whether you get the holiday calendar and a Pokeball with it too. They're running that special there as well. Or it's pretty much you're getting a Pokeball for free on that one with the way that they're running that special. But there's still a lot of them. The holiday calendars are okay. And typically what happens is that there's no value in them right now, but come a year, 2, 3 years down the road, then all of a sudden the packs in there become valuable. And people all of a sudden want them because of the fact that there's value in them at that point in time. Usually they just take time to age up. Let's see. Pokénewful exclusive. Welcome on in. Since none of us getting any of these new mega sets, what do you think? SWSH alt arts in PSA, minimum 1K, potential 2K in the next. Possible. I think there's some of them that'll do really, really well. I think people are going to start backdating. I think Scarlet and Violet's going to continue to just kind of boom now at this point in time. But I think Sword and Shield and Sun and Moon are definitely going to continue to do really well also. Seems like people are just kind of... I've been seeing a lot of movement in Sword and Shield right now. So I think Sword and Shield is definitely going to be another battleground again. Because it gets away from the bots. It gets away from dealing with these retail stores. It's more, dispersed already out in different sites, different price ranges. So there's definitely more opportunities to purchase in. Yeah, it's not MSRP. Yeah, you're paying market price on that stuff, but it's dispersed out enough to where you're not fighting with bots any longer. I think people are getting tired of fighting with bots for the new product, and I think that's going to kill new product faster than actual anything. I think it's going to kill the new market more than anything, especially on these mega sets. Let's see here. James from Alamo City says A6 says, were you able to get... Oh, I did already answer that one. Okay, we're past that one. James from Alamo City, I have it good with GameStop because the one I go to is on the Army base. I know the management, staff, donate cards, and hook them up with my bulk Pokemon cards. So they hold whatever I need, limit of 1. Yeah, and that's like my GameStop too. I know the manager really, really well. I know a couple of the employees really well. And they're pretty good at letting me know if it's even worth me coming in too. So they don't really hold product just because he's afraid that they watch for their camera and stuff like that he's going to get in trouble if he holds the product. He just plays it straight. But at least if I call him up, I'll text him and ask him if there's a chance for me to get any product. And if he says yes, I'll go in. And if no, I'll just not go in because there's no point in me driving 40 minutes to go find out that everything's sold out right as the door opens. So that was kind of nice. So yeah, he's good for that, but he doesn't hold any product for me. I wish I could talk him into that, but I've asked, and he said that he can't just because of the fact that the management kind of watches it, and if one product sells way out of line too, they're gonna get kind of. He said they're getting really strict on how they handle even like the one per person. So they're really strict on the one per account. So if you go in and one per customer, so if you go in on the limit, buy one, they will only sell you one, and that's just them following the rules. I like my GameStop because they follow the rules, which makes it usually so I can get stuff there. I mean, the last couple of times, like Surging Sparks, when they had black and white come through, all those sets, I'm able to go in and get that stuff, and get stuff because they actually hold to their end of the bargain, which is limit of 1 or 2 per person, and gives them the opportunity. Ace. So Astic says, I thought about that, but wondering if people would give up because it's one thing to be there for 2 hours every morning versus having to wait up to 8. The problem is it seems like the people that are actually sitting there and capable of waiting just don't have anything to do. They don't have a job, it doesn't seem. They don't do anything. It's not like they're trying to get in the door before it opens and, you know, get a bunch of product ahead of time, or that they got to get to their job, so they can't go too long with waiting. Seems like the people that are waiting just have no job, and they have the ability to sit. I don't know what they do for a living besides Pokemon. They must just be scalping, making big money on scalping Pokemon right now. But getting one product from GameStop must hold them over till the next week. I don't know. I don't understand it, because they can't be getting enough product out there to be making a full-time living, especially in our areas with how much people are fighting and dispersing that stuff. But yeah, they don't seem to have a job. They just seem to have the ability to be there at midnight the night before. They'll camp out all night long. I think that they would camp out all day long. It would not stop them. Yep. James from the Alamo City says, everyone help on Andy. Smash the like button and sub if you are not already. Exactly. Make sure you guys hit that sub. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We got 27 viewers and only 18 likes. Hit that like button. Let's help out the stream a little bit as we're cruising along. Holy cow, we're already almost at the hour mark. Greatly appreciated everybody that's jumping on in. Eric, they'll just release them at the Pokemon Center vending machines. Yeah, that works out well also. You have people just hanging out, guarding the Pokemon sites, having fist fights in front of them, or Pokemon vending machines. And once again, at the end of the day, if you go down to the root cause of all the problems right now, it's the fact that we don't have product. If they were to print it to demand, if they were to sit there and take all the pre-orders that are out there for this product right now and do like they did in 2021, do like they did in 2016, 17, and just literally print these sets to demand right now, they would solve the problem. That's all it would take to really solve this problem, but they just don't seem to want to do that. And I get it. I don't think that they want to reprint a Scarlet and Violet, but at some point in time, you're going to get a reprint of Scarlet and Violet because nobody's going to buy it anyways, because the only people that are buying stuff is your scalpers. And then if the scalpers don't have anybody to sell to because everybody's left the market and no longer cares, then you're eventually going to end up in the beginning of Scarlet and Violet, if not even worse, go back to black and white, in where the interest is at its all-time low. So it's definitely a situation that they're going to have to do something with, but there is a solution. It's not a hard solution. It's just a matter of get the printers printing, and that would be it. Let's see here. Prices have changed a lot in the last months. Yeah, they're slowly moving up all the way across the boards at this point in time. Eric also says, Jacob just says the vending machines are a joke too. Yeah, they are. That's what I was saying. They'll just have fist fights in front of the machines. Heidish just said, Pokemon won't hold up upcoming sets. But at this point, they can't provide new sets at release and in rotation sets. They should delay the set of two for reprints, although it wouldn't happen for the meta purposes. Yeah, you got a lot of problems with the that and the TCG side of things too. They have to stay in a certain speed of release on these sets, otherwise some decks hold dominance too long. There's also other issues that can kind of come up by not releasing new sets. Granted, they could delay a month or two and it really wouldn't make a huge difference. But they really couldn't go much longer than that. Just in the sight of the playability and things like that would definitely be an issue. Pokemon Full exclusive. Since I couldn't get much prismatic, I don't feel anything for that set. Refuse to buy it from scalpers. Kind of hate the set. That's a lot of people's feelings on a couple of these sets for sure. The more they're unavailable to individuals, the more people will not be coming back to them futuristically. Why was Evolving Skies so popular and so successful? Well, because everybody got a chance at it. Everybody got a taste at Evolving Skies. You could get Evolving Skies booster boxes under MSRP for a long period of time. You could get sleeve blisters at grocery stores. You could get sleeve blisters at Walmart and go buy them in a lot of locations. You could have got 3-pack blisters. You could have got ETBs months after the release of that set came out. That product was available for a long time, and people had a long time to chase and take chances and have fun and see what they could do with it at a lower cost. And thus, that's part of the success of Evolving Skies that Prismatic will never have. I've honestly opened probably less than 30 packs of Prismatic for myself. I cannot justify paying the price per pack. I can get that from distro, the few products I have gotten over the time, and I can just turn that and quadruple it just by putting it at market or going under market price. I can't justify it opening it for myself at that price range. It just does not make any sense. Antonio, they already found a method to take off the limits on the vending machines. Yeah, people are already bypassing the limits on them. They're hacking the machines right there in the store, so that's not working. A6, there's a good chance that their factories are running 24/7 and they can't meet demand. Well, they should be hiring out. I mean, I think that they did on the Mega 1. ME1, I think, is actually printed externally. I can't prove that. I don't know if anybody will come forward and say that at this point in time. But the fact is that ME1 is already had early releases. It's showing the signs that we saw when they were externally printing Pokemon packs. We're seeing early releases of booster boxes. We're seeing early releases of products. With that being said, I think that gives me a good feeling that they're actually printing that externally. And if that's the case, we might see some things catch up. Maybe this is the first set that's being printed externally in the last 2 years, 3 years. So there's some kinks, and that's why we're getting some pushback and slowdowns on the release on that. But who knows? You could be right. They're running 24/7. I think that they're not just printing. I don't think they're just printing Pokemon at Millennial Print Group. They're printing baseball or football cards. We know that they are. I mean, they had the Prismatic Oops where they got football players underneath the printings underneath the actual holofoils that you could see through. So there is the Tua and the other one that were sitting out there where you could get their names underneath there, and they're, once again, that they're printing base or football cards if that's happening. They're printing something else and it's taking up the printing positions. Tough position for them. A6, building facility takes years and hundreds of millions. So likely adding lines to an existing factory is 18 months process and would probably result in less than 2 to 3% increase in overall quantity. Could be. That's definitely a same issue as well. Adding facility space, you're better off hiring another print group too, because you don't know if the demand's going to hold or if the demand's going to shift and go away. Business definitely can be fluctuate, because if they were to print to demand, their demand would drop, because then all the scalpers would go out of the market because there's no money in it, and then there'd be that reduction that direction as well. So yeah, it's a catch-22. You don't want to up your facility too big, but you definitely need to do something with, like I said, they don't even have to do like a mass reprint of every set. Pinpoint the next 2 sets. Just take the next 2 sets, delay them by 2 months total on each one, and just pound it. Pound it to death. Whatever you printed at the beginning, run them printers nonstop, print nothing else but those 2 sets, and just absolutely bury that market in those next 2 sets. If you did that, Phantasmal Flames, if you were to go right now and print 10x what you were releasing for ME1 or for Destin's Rivals or for Black and White, if you were to take that number, 10 times it, delay 2 months, run those printers double time, because they start printing a set usually 4 months before, so that'd give you a full 2 months extra. Just run solid for that time period and print nothing else. It would absolutely decimate the next 2 sets. It would push all the scalpers out because there'd be no money in those products anymore. They wouldn't be able to go around and pick them up at a lower price or at MSRP, because the products will be online cheaper than MSRP. So if they go scalp a Walmart, they're going to lose. If they go and try and scalp Pokemon Center and pay Pokemon Center for it, they're going to lose. You go pay Walmart, you're going to lose. They're going to have to start going to the lower end stuff, which is going to be buying it off a TCG player or secondary markets, and then they're going to have to flip it for MSRP in order to make money on it, because then they're buying it a lot of times at what we are distribution costs. So we've seen this. We've done this. This has worked. It's just Pokemon won't pull the trigger and do it at this point in time. Let's see here. Get caught up here. Tough position. Jacob says they can lease buildings. The equipment and staffing is the problem. And yeah, that's part of it. Evolving Cries. Jacob, permits, approvals, modernization and renovations, and equipment, not to mention worldwide tariffs. Yeah, big issue too. 40 a pack now for Evolving Skies. Wasn't back then, though. Really, really cheap. Back then, we used to buy Evolving Skies. You could buy the sleeve blisters online for $3.50 a piece. It's hard to believe, but it took about a year, not a year, probably about 4 months before Evolving Skies really... There was like 4-month windows where you had opportunities to really get into it, have fun. When it first released, there was that massive reprint. Usually by March, it went up to like $130, $140 a booster box. It didn't hit MSRP until like June or July of the following year before it was over, like $180 at that point. So, I mean, that was just it. Because I think Dan and I had that where I was laughing as Dan was in the chat from Catch 'em All Collectibles, and I said, hey, maybe it's a good time to invest at 180, and he said, no, not, we kind of went back and forth. It's kind of one of them things we kind of laugh about now. It's like, yep, definitely was a good time to buy at 180 at that point in time, because it never slowed down after that. It's been nothing but up, up, up. But once again, there was opportunities. There was opportunities to buy that set and enjoy it, have fun with it. People were chasing and getting into it for a lot cheaper at that point in time. Evolving Skies was just absolutely awesome, because there was enough print, there was enough, they printed it and they drowned it all at the same time with all the other products around it, which really gave it that breathability for people to enjoy it, where people have the nostalgic and the remembrance of chasing Evolving Sky stuff, opening packs when it was cheaper. Prismatic has never had that. Prismatic's never had that opportunity, and it never will at this point in time. Eric outsourcing the Wizards of the Coast. They can't do that. They're already can't keep up either. Their Spider-Man set, all those other sets that they're honestly, there's no product anywhere. Lorcana, there's no product anywhere for it. The new set of Lorcana, I haven't seen it anywhere. There was some out apparently, but they're really, really low print. Something is going on with materials. I think it's a TCG issue right now, and I don't know if it's a holo. I don't know. You can go to, I should go take a picture of my LGS right now. They're sweating bullets because they don't have anything. They've got like Star Wars. They got Star Wars and some of the older sets of Lorcana left. They have no Wizards of the Coast single packs available. They have no new Lorcana. They have no Pokemon. They have no Final Fantasy. They have no Dragon Ball Z. They have nothing. Their shelves are completely chewed up and gone, and they're not able to buy any. So something else is happening in the background. I don't know what it is. And I don't know where to find the research or where to go to figure that part out. Piker Mike, welcome on in. Glad to see ya. Buying singles is really the only cost-effective way to collect now. Buying packs is a thing of the past for the average person of any significant degree. Yes, I mean, I agree. I think that buying packs has become a thing for fun. If you want to chase and you want to take a chance to get that adrenaline rush of a chase, then you're going to open packs. And that's where, like myself, I like taking like $200, buying $200 worth of packs, and do that chase and have fun with that chase. Awesome, Charlie. Glad you got your ETBs. I personally like the chase, but there again, if the sets are getting so expensive right out of the gate, it really limits the amount of product that you can open for $200 or $300. You're going to be shifting gears and just going buying the singles you want, because I'm going to pay $200-$300, and what's the chances of me, for example, pulling a Moonbryon, or the chances of pulling a Sunbryon in $200 to $300? Very, very slim. Very, very hard to do. So that's where you're going to see people just buying for their collection instead, is when they sit there and go, why am I paying $300? Just put the $300 into this, because I'm not getting a lot of packs for my buck, and I can just get the card I want, spend at the time, $600-$700, and be done with it. Because I'm not paying $600-$700 anyways. I'm just wasting $300, and I'm not getting much for my bang for my buck. A6 says Wizards is in the same boat. Not nearly enough product or the demand. Last two sets completely sold out. Yes, big issue right now currently with that set, with all TCGs right now. It's a scalper's market. Heavy packs of prismatic selling on eBay for $30 $30. My goodness, absolutely insane. Walmart has Team Rocket Mewtwo boxes for $36. Tempting, LOL. Yeah, there's someone on our Discord put those up as well. I think that's... I don't think you're going to go much below that $36.99 or what? I think they're $36.99. But yeah, I think that's pretty tempting right now. I think that they're going to be a fun little box, but I don't know. I just don't. I'm personally not going to spend that much money on them. I think that there's better things that I could pay $36 for right now at this point in time. Same price at my LGS. Passed at the time. Evolving Skies is an epic set. Yes, it is. Haida says Pokemon should have a bulk recycling program. They have trusted sources collect in rotation cards and send to Pokemon for repackaging. Just add hit cards again. Save printer time allotments. That'd be funny. It would be a really good way to do it, wouldn't it? Send back all your common and uncommons. They pay you 2 cents a card or 1 cent a card for them. It'd be a recycling program. Just take these all back. I got cases. I'll just send them cases of them. Kids go through them. They figure out what they want for their decks and what they're playing with, or if they want any cards for their collection. And then I just have piles of bulk sitting here. Needs to be sorted at one point in time. Card shows already experienced now. I've actually been enjoying card shows more and more. You know, the last couple of years since COVID, they've definitely become a lot more fun as well. Old card shows were definitely blah. New ones now that they're currently, even the new ones around here are doing fantastic. Just sent out 26K in bulk cards. Yeah, I probably have at least that. Well, I know that there's about 100,000 down here that's sorted, and I have double that right now on my shelf. So there's probably at least... I probably have at least 300,000, 400,000 bulk cards between all these bins here, the older stuff from Sun and Moon out there in my other drawers, the stuff I haven't. Yeah, my head's hurting looking at that, because if I have to sort that, it's really not going to make me happy. I'll probably just do like you did, just sell it and be done. Send it out if someone will buy it. I don't know if anybody will. I'll call it Mason at Cardinal Gaming. Let's see if Mason wants it. Mason, you want all my bulk? You have to sort it. It's unsorted bulk. But, alright, card shows are... Oh, expensive now. Yeah, card shows are... Card shows are hit or miss. I think they're a fun experience now, too, since COVID. I will stand by that, Eric. I read that wrong, but I think card shows are a fun experience now since COVID. They're definitely lively, a lot more fun, a lot more energetic, a lot more stuff going on from the vendors and things like that, which make it fun. But they are. I mean, people are paying a premium because card show holders are charging a premium now for them tables as well. So you're kind of running into that situation where they're costing more for the vendors as well. Back in 2019, I know card tables for most of our shows around here were like $25-50 to have a table at these events, and now they're like $150 to $200. Sometimes they're $100 a day for the event, so $200-300 if it's a 2-3 day event. Well, it used to be like $25 or $50 for the whole weekend for an event, and they used to just make a few bucks to pay for the renting the space and make a few bucks for organizing it with the tables that they had. Now these things are like premium events that really charge, which then in turn, of course, goes down to the people coming in to purchase. They're gonna have to try and cover that cost when they jump in or when they actually are selling at these things. So. All right, guys, we made it. We're at the 1 hour mark. We're at 1 hour and 10 minutes currently. So I'd like to just thank everybody that joined in tonight. Charlie, I'm glad that you got your ETBs today. Should have gotten your other stuff too, but yeah, you should have gotten your first orders. Second orders are all on the road. So your No Neck Charizard is on the road and heading off to you as well. I did put it in its own little bubble mailer too. Kept it safe inside the box. It's labeled the Zard, so you will have that coming as well. We did pull a Charizard on Sunday from 151. That was fun. So one of the last packs we had at that point in time. But yes, thank you so much, Hiatus. Thank you so much for being here too. Greatly appreciate it. Once again, if you guys would like, join us on Friday and on Sunday. We do talk about Pokemon, but we also open packs, enjoy it, have some fun. We're getting down. We're down to a little bit of Journey Together. We do have Silver Tempest. I'm hoping I can get some Destin's Rivals this week as well. I'm trying to get some more Destin's Rivals tins and some packs back in here as well, just to try and re-liven things up. and get those products. Otherwise, we do have a bunch of the mini tins and stuff still laying around as well. So we can have a little bit of fun on Friday and Sunday. If you guys would like to join us, 9 p.m. Central Time, check out NorthwoodsTCG.com if you would like. Otherwise, we hope to see you next Tuesday. Typically, we're Tuesday. I know it's Wednesday today. I was in a mechanical room all the way up until about 11:30 last night, so I couldn't start. I just couldn't start a live inside of a mechanical room with compressors running. There was no way you're going to hear me inside of that room, so I was kind of stuck in there doing some work. So I didn't get live last night, but typically we're live on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central Time. So if you guys would like to join us typically on our normal live nights, greatly appreciated. Eric says you see all in the queue tomorrow. That'd be fantastic. It'd be awesome to build up a queue for Friday. And hopefully I can get some more product again. We were doing good where we were really filling in, but now the product's gotten a little bit slow. Filling the queue for the Pokemon Center as well. So all of us will be in the queue together next tomorrow for plushies, or maybe there'll be battle decks tomorrow. We'll have battle decks available on Pokemon Center after you wait in the queue for 2 hours, 3 hours. And find out you get your chance at some battle rival, or the battle decks. Just the Kangaskhan battle decks are available for you. So, but yeah, once again, greatly appreciate it for everybody who joins in. Always a pleasure to have you guys in here. Make sure you guys hit the like button before you leave as well. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much, Waxy Packs, for the thank you so much for the super chat as well. Greatly appreciated with a critical hit. That was awesome. So greatly appreciated for that. Eric, yeah, and Friday for Rip and Chips. Yes, let's do that. Let's get that built up, guys. Let's see if we can have some fun right away as well. So if you are a member too, if you join the channel membership, I always throw that out there also. If you join the channel membership, join us for our live Rip and Ship. You can do the Guess the Energy game on your first purchase of the night. If you guess the energy right on your first pack of the night for your first order, then you get a free pack of Sword and Shield that we currently have up there as well, just for guessing the energy. A little fun, a little bonus for our channel members as well for joining us. Otherwise, everybody have a fantastic rest of your week. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully we'll see you guys on Friday, 9 p.m. Central Time here. And hopefully you guys can have some fun here with the Pokemon TCG and Phantasmal Flames. Maybe we'll see it. Hopefully we'll see it in the next couple days and we can all say we got our ETBs on Friday. Otherwise, I hope to see you next time here on Northwoods.